This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Welcome to this week's episode of This is a Place podcast. My name is Nate, and with me is a guy who once was offered a TV with broken sound for $50, and he couldn't turn it down. Brandon.
Yep, that was me.
Like me, you love the deals.
I
Can't
love
turn
the
down a
deals.
good deal.
You know me, I'm always on the hunt for deals.
Before we go too far, we need to talk about a local Utah celebrity in sports who had a big victory yesterday. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't.
It's been 1,975 days since he's won a PGA tournament.
Tony Finau.
Tony Finau won yesterday. And could it be because they had the hurricane come through on Sunday that they had to delay the last round till Monday? So him not playing on the Sabbath, maybe that helped him win.
What?
But, yeah,
Could
I was
be.
cheering for him.
Never
I love
know.
Tony. I think he's fun to watch, and he's a really nice guy, it seems like. And it's probably been frustrating for him because he's always in like the top 10 or always in contention for the win and just can't get over that hump to win. So hopefully that's something that will continue for him, that he can start winning more tournaments. But he's an awesome player, and he still lives here in Utah. Lives in Lehigh.
Let's bring him on.
And then he goes to, I think, is it Phoenix? Somewhere in Arizona. So he kind of shares his time between Arizona and Utah. But his family's here in Lehigh. Yeah, we should definitely get him on.
I always heard that if I wanted to go and make money in sports, I should have went and really crafted myself as a long snapper. Have you heard that before?
Oh, yeah. I've been saying that for years.
So I think at what point does it become, someone like Tony Finau, he's probably making the big bucks.
He made $1.7 million yesterday.
So yeah, when does it become less about the money and more about the success? So if I would have went in, say I'm in the NFL as a long snapper, where's your accomplishments? You did a really good long snap. Like nobody recognizes the long snapper unless they do a really bad long snap.
Yeah, which doesn't happen very often, right?
So I have to think at some point in that position, you'd really want to succeed and move your way up. But for someone like Tony Finau, when does it become less about the money, more about, I just really want to be good? Because if it were me, if I was a golfer and I came in last place, but I was still making the big bucks, I wouldn't care.
You would think, yeah. Top 10 guys that finish in a big PGA tournament are making $250 probably minimum, right? The 10th place guy. So you're making a decent year's salary's worth if you're in the top 10, and he's finished in the top 10 a lot. So he's got millions. And, but I'm sure it gets to the point to where you're like, okay, I've got enough money. I've got to start winning. Because you think about it, like yesterday, so he went to a playoff round and he was first up and he hit it down the fairway, had a nice shot. And then I think his name's Cameron Smith, who was up second for the playoff, gets up and then hits it out of bounds, very first hit. And so it basically, all Tony had to do was just not totally mess up, just kind of play his game. But Cameron, if I'm saying the correct name, his second place earnings was $1 million. So him losing that one hole cost him $700,000, and he didn't seem that upset about it. He was super cool to Tony, like congratulated him, but it's like, dude, you just lost technically just lost the opportunity for $700,000. and you don't even seem to be upset at all. When was the last time, Brandon, that you had a chance to make 700 grand, but you messed up?
I don't even know if I've made that much in my life. Probably haven't even made that much in my life at this point.
Oh,
So yeah, I would be thrilled to have the opportunity to lose that much money, but more thrilled to just be able to make that million.
yeah. It's interesting. I just saw an article of like different generations and how much they think they need to retire. So millennials by far think they need the less amount of money to retire.
Really? I think
Over
I need a
60,
ton.
Yeah, and the funny thing, I think the baby boomers were the ones that thought they needed the most, probably because they're most likely to retire sooner than everybody else. But anyways, we don't need to get on that topic, but it's just
That's for our other podcast where we discuss financial topics.
but you think about it, like, with Tony or just any person, at what point is enough money? And then it just becomes about accomplishing something, because Tony obviously could retire and live the rest of his life happy, and he's pretty young, but who knows?
What drives people? Sometimes the question. I wonder what led our other Utah celebrity who we're talking about today. What led him? What was his motivation?
How do we decide to pronounce his name?
Philo. Philo T.
Farnsworth?
Farnsworth.
Farnsworth. Well, he had the idea for inventing the television, which we're talking about today. So many people know or probably don't know that the inventor of television is from Utah, even though it was technically invented in Rigby, Idaho. But basically, to jump the gun a little bit, another guy who worked for RCA, I believe, had a kind of the concept for television, but didn't really invent it. And then Farnsworth is the one who kind of made it happen. And so RCA claims that they invented it first, and he said, no, I did. And so they went to court and all that good stuff. And because Farnsworth had given like his chemistry teacher, where he kind of had the idea in high school, like a drawing of what his idea was, the concept, it helped him win his case, and RCA paid him out $1 million for the settlement. But it also says that he died broke, like he was in debt by the time he passed away. So he didn't really realize millions of dollars from helping television become what it is today.
And $1 million was a lot more money back then.
Yes, it's an okay amount today.
So how did he end up broke?
Well, he didn't get any royalties or anything like that, from my understanding, from inventing the television, or and I don't think they would give him a patent on it. Like articles I read, like inventions all the time, people have like ideas for inventions, but usually it takes one or two people realizing that invention or whatever, and so it's hard to pinpoint who really gets credit for stuff like that. But he still kind of gets credit for being the father of television. But I bet he was, I think, a serial inventor, and so he probably spent a lot of his money just trying to invent stuff. He was famous for something else. Was that a nuclear thing that he was famous for?
Yeah, that's probably maybe more important than the TV. I don't know. Maybe for the good of the world. Nah, TV's probably the best.
Well, yeah. I mean, out of all inventions of the last 100 years plus, I mean, that's pretty big one. Because look where it's taken. I mean, I remember just, 20 years ago, like when cell phones came out and you could get a really crappy image on your phone, but you can literally watch TV on your phone now, in your hand. You can carry around a TV in your pocket. That's insane.
I'm watching you right now.
And you're watching me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he went to BYU, so that's even better, right? Did he go to BYU or did he teach at BYU?
He went to BYU. The fall of 1923.
So the first like image that he was able to transfer through the air happened September 7th, 1927. So we're coming pretty close to the anniversary of that. But I believe he was only 21 years old when he was able to do that.
It's like we're older than 21 at this point, Nate. What are we doing with our lives?
There's a lot of people who are more successful than me at my age.
Yeah.
Well, define successful.
Yeah.
Do they have a weekly podcast?
Touche.
Have they won a pickleball tournament? So he did briefly attend Brigham Young University, but they ended up giving him an honorary degree in 1967. And there's a statue of him at the Letterman Digital Arts Center in San Francisco. It's too bad we didn't have time to stop by there real quick and take a picture in front of it.
So his statue is, every state has a statue at the U.S. Capitol, and our statue is Philo. But they have been debating and trying to replace his statue with Martha Hughes Cannon. But up to this point, it still looks like it's his statue.
Have you ever heard of Philo streaming service?
No.
It's kind of like YouTube TV, or what's the other one that's really big? Slingbox.
Oh, okay.
Type thing. But I didn't know that. But I've heard of Philo, but it's named after him.
That's
a service.
So this has been this in no means a thoroughly researched and extensive episode on Philo.
No, the main reason I wanted to talk about him is just that this time of year, summer's winding down. We're going to have to retreat to our homes because we can't be outside all day long anymore because it's getting cold. So there's a lot of television watching that's going to be going on in the next few months. And particularly for one big reason, and that's because football season's upon us, right? So it's good to know that we can stay home, sit on our couch with our potato chips, and watch something that's happening miles and miles and miles away from us. And
feel like we're there.
All thanks to Philo.
All thanks to him. Yeah, and to be a little honest with you, this has been a kind of a busy week for both of us. And I was thinking, you know what? Maybe we should just skip a week. Maybe we just don't have a podcast this week because we didn't have a chance to really go anywhere. But I actually went to a podcast event and the topic was consistency. And so figured we can't really skip because we've never skipped a week. We can't do it after I've just come off of that meeting, you know? So we had to release an episode.
Setting that goal and then not even meeting it the next week.
Not that we don't enjoy what we do. We've just been really busy. And other things like summer and everything going on has taken precedence.
School's back in session. Summer's winding down. But
sadly, but also happily.
Yes.
I think we've got some good stuff on the horizon again.
All right. As we know, when summer comes to an end, that just means Halloweenies upon us.
Spooky season is upon us.
One of the best times of the year.
And it feels like it has started really early this year. Like even more than normal.
As far as the
stuff coming out in stores.
Mm-hmm. Pumpkin spice is already on its way out.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I'm not going to complain at all.
But I think, did you know that it snowed last week in Utah?
Yeah,
in
it
August?
Did snow.
So,
and they're saying we might not even really get a fall this year. In the traditional sense, no leaves changing colors. The weather's going to flip-flop pretty quickly. I'm not happy to hear about that because I like the crisp autumn mornings. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. We shall see.
But I think it gives us an opportunity here to say thanks again to our listeners, even if we sort of take a week off, even though we still did an episode. It feels like we're kind of taking a week off. Thanks for still supporting us. And we just knew you guys would be real upset if we didn't release an episode this week.
Exactly. But yeah, after you listen to us, go sit down and watch some TV.
Yeah, go watch some TV in memory of good old Philo.
Just relax. Have a good time watching TV. And also, all these new shows are going to start coming out. It's time to
watch some TV, people.
Some TV. So
crack open the soda on us.
Still waiting on a couple of my shows to get going because COVID kind of postponed the few that I like. So hopefully they get back up and running. One of them will in December.
Which one's that?
Cobra Kai season.
Was that coming out in December now?
December, yeah.
What else?
I think Stranger Things is another one I like.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's not appropriate, but Barry.
Barry. I actually just completed Barry.
Barry was season 3?
What was available, and I watched that. I actually watched something you recommended.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. It was pretty.
Yeah, it's kind of entertaining, right? Different. It's a very different show.
I do enjoy some Bill Hader, so
yeah,
it's an enjoyable one. I'm excited for the movies coming out. Finally got the trailer for Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man's coming out.
And that's still, it's not TV. Those are movies, but
yeah, but that's true.
You can watch them on your TV.
Well, everything now is going straight to digital, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, because not even my TV is not even hooked up in any way to traditional television. It's all hooked up through the internet.
Wow. Well, I've noticed that a lot with clients over the last few years building homes that I've had. Buyers building homes, that a lot of them don't even ask for a coax cable or anything like that to be put into their TV room, because they're like, we don't even use that. We just do everything through the internet. So, and everything's wireless now.
Yeah. But doesn't mean that Philo didn't pave the way for us to get to this point.
That's right.
He still invented what we're enjoying today. Because of his ideas and what he created, it gave other people ideas to then give us what we have now.
His sacrifice.
Thank you, Philo.
All those many nights. He actually, one thing I saw in the little research I did was that his wife said that he came home one night and said, "Just so you know, honey, I've got a second love interest in my life," or something like that. Her name's Television. Basically asking her to kind of help out with his invention and inventing it. And he worked on it like from sun up to sundown, like all the time until he got it figured out. So thanks to his wife for being patient and letting him do it so that we can enjoy what we enjoy today.
And neglect our wives while doing so.
Yeah. So him neglecting his wife, inventing it, help many men neglect their wives by watching what he did.
Yeah. Thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
When you spit it in that kind of light. I do bond with my wife over shows and television.
Yep.
So
me too.
I rarely watch things alone these days, except I did watch Barry alone. And
football.
Have you watched Ted Lasso before?
No, that's on Apple TV, right?
Yeah, I've been watching it.
I don't have that. I hear that it's pretty good.
I got Apple TV free for like a year or something, so I've been watching it. And it's actually, It's not what I expected. I didn't think it was going to be soccer. I was excited for a football show. So, he was a football coach who then gets invited to go coach a soccer team in London.
But isn't it like pretty serious though too? Like you think it'd be comedic because of what's his name, but
yeah, Jason Sudeikis. It has its comedic moments, but it does get pretty serious too.
But yeah, a lot of people are, and I think it got the most Emmy nominations for any show ever or something like that.
Really?
I don't know
if it's that good, but it's enjoyable.
Okay. What do I know? I just trust whatever I see on television. That and the internet.
That, and you should always trust what you hear in the podcast format as well, because we will not lead you astray.
Nope. And we do our research. Wikipedia.
All that Philo information came from Wikipedia, the truest source on the internet.
It's funny. What's her name? Kelly Clarkson was saying the other day that she was doing an interview, and the lady was like, "Oh, I read in Wikipedia that you're like a Catholic," and she goes, "No." Well, it has to be true. It's on Wikipedia. Like, she was arguing. She's like, "Hey, I'm the source. Like, I am Kelly Clarkson." But it's funny how we take Wikipedia to be the truth and everything. So
yeah, that's not the case.
That's where we get a lot of our research from. So Wikipedia is wrong, and it's not our fault.
Our hands are clean.
Yeah.
Well, and
Anyways.
just like that, I think we've had a normal length episode. I was really just trying to do that so I wouldn't have to edit so much. So thanks a lot, Nate.
Yeah. Well, you walked away for a few minutes.
That's true. That'll be easy to cut out.
All right.
Go enjoy some TV. Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
See you next week.